talk with, all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you, for you, for you, for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's you that I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses I weren't waiting for.
Health, wealth, and happiness. And leave a message for God's sake. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Ain't this
Well, there we are.
Save me my
Cheerio.
love for you.
Health, wealth, and happiness. And leave a message for God's sake.
Good morning, sir.
Relaxing weekend, Lewis?
Yes, thanks, sir.
Just as well.
He's not too pleased with life today?
Not going to be too pleased with me either. Tired, sir?
Yes.
Why is that?
Lack of sleep.
Tried pills?
No. There's a lot of earth or something under his fingernails.
Farmer? Gardener? Big, strong hands.
No identification. 14 pounds in his pocket. It's almost as if he just popped out for a minute.
Yeah, the middle of nowhere.
Quite. He's been dead for a few days.
Well, he certainly hadn't popped here on Friday. There was a woman here walking her dog right past.
And he certainly wasn't here Saturday or Sunday.
How do you know?
If you hadn't been to sunny Yorkshire for the weekend, you'd know. It poured with rain here. The body is dry. It's been kept somewhere.
I was wondering, sir, any chance of a chat at some point?
Who with?
You and me.
I suppose so. What about?
Oh, well, we've got a bit more time.
That's everything apart from litter and stuff.
We'll go through the litter as well.
Looks like a logo for something.
A garage, CT Autos.
How do you know?
They service my car. When we get there, I'd like you to conduct the interview, Lewis.
Right.
Why exactly? Why, aye, it's right in the front of work hearings. But that doesn't mean to say it's one of our customers, does it? I mean, that stands to reason, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Mind you, I can't really be certain about that. Now, can I?
No, right. Hang on a minute. It may not be a customer here, sir. They give a lot out as gifts.
If it were a customer, how would we find out which one? Ask him.
I heard you, mister. You can't tank us out, bugger. I know that one, then, ours. Might be a different kind of a story if he wanted his car servicing in a hurry.
No, never mind him at the minute. He's not sleeping too well. Listen, if it was a customer,
You know,
I would...
looking at that, I'd say that could be a bike key.
Possibly a motorcycle key, sir.
So, who are you?
Sir, I found him. He owned a Vincent Black Shadow. His name is Harry Field. After I finally found the right worksheet, everyone remembered him perfectly. I'm surprised you didn't know him, sir. I reckon he was a bit of a character. Morning.
Morning.
Do you know the man that lives here? Neighbour, knew Mr. Field by sight, but hadn't seen much of him. He mentioned hearing a car in the small house one morning last week. High-performance car, he thought.
Here's our man when he was very much alive. Don't step there, that's acid. Someone threw it at this painting.
Wonder who did that?
Whoever did it had a key, no break-in. His jacket. He doubtless expected to be wearing it again. His paints. Here we are again, Lewis. Putting together the last moments of a complete stranger's life. Showing more concern for him than we would when he was alive.
He wasn't our problem when he was alive, was he?
It's me. I'm going to work. My head feels like a bucket. Call if you're not coming back.
What's this about? What's his name? You were pretty tight when you rang, you know. He's a shit of the first water, as you know of old. Look, I don't want things to turn. We should talk when I...
Where the bloody hell are you? You said you'd be back yesterday. I waited and I cooked something. You... shit. What do I have to do, eh? Call the police to find you?
I'm afraid the police have found him.
Yes?
Mrs. Field?
Oh, no. Drink. I knew it would get him one way or the other. I hope he was as drunk as a skunk. I hope he didn't know what was happening. God, why? The last thing he heard from me was me cursing him.
I don't think he ever heard that message, Mrs. Field. The tape hadn't been played back.
It was because he'd phoned to say he'd be back on Friday. I waited. I made something. I was angry because I'd made the effort and he hadn't. How pathetic.
I really don't think he got that message.
I'll never really know, will I? Not for certain. Give me something to think about.
When did you last see him?
Him. I last saw him 1 week ago yesterday. The early hours of last Sunday. He'd gone to the studio. He couldn't sleep. Too much brandy. His heart was racing. We'd been to a party. A week ago. I don't want to hear any details of the accident. No description of the bike. What happened to the other driver. He was here.
Mrs. Field, your husband wasn't involved in a road accident.
It's a Vincent Black Shadow motorbike. O.A.F. 749. Well, black. What do you think? We need to find it as soon as possible.
Hello, old lad. Look, what's this about? What's his name? You were pretty tight when you rang, you know. He's a shit of the first water, as you know of old. Look, I don't want things to turn. We should talk when
Who's that?
Harry's father. He's away travelling in Spain.
Do you know who he's talking about?
No.
Someone seems to be phoning your husband but not leaving any message. Would you have any idea?
No.
Did anyone phone for him here on Sunday?
No.
So you didn't see him for 7 days?
Look, don't read anything into that. We were like that. Very 60s, even at 50, Harry used to say. He used to like to keep going after some parties. If he said it's going down rather well tonight, you knew you'd lost him for about a week. He needed to go off sometimes. Drown the demon, darling. That's why when he actually telephoned on Thursday, I really expected him home the following day.
Did he say where he'd been?
No, it was a message on the answer phone when I got home from work. He just said, "Hello, it's me. I'll be back tomorrow. All I could do was curse him for not being. God, how bloody suburban.
Why would someone keep telephoning Harry's studio and yet steadfastly refuse to leave a message?
Could have been his dad from Spain having difficulty getting through.
If I'd tried to get through 5 times, I'd have mentioned it. And I'd have been annoyed. He sounded quite relaxed. Whoever kept ringing needed to speak to Harry urgently. Someone who would only speak to him personally.
Of course, it might have been someone just wanting to make sure he wasn't there.
The jar of acid, yes, I was wondering about that.
Is it to do with my name?
Here. What do you notice about those?
No clothes on. No clothes on. No clothes on.
Get the faces, man. It's all the same person.
All right. And no clothes on.
You okay, sis?
I think I might have got on with Harry Field. I used to idle my hours away doing this sort of thing when I was a student.
What's that?
Ventosa viri restabit. As translated by Harry for a Mr. and Mrs. Parker of Ohio as springtime brings respite from wintry storms.
Really? Forensic report.
Of course, in Latin, the letter V is pronounced W, and therefore this motto would read, when toes are weary, rest a bit.
You got it wrong, had he?
No. No, Luce, he was making it up. Joke genealogy. Heraldry. It seems Harry had a sideline. Felix noctu exponendos.
It's the way you tell him to.
That's translated for the fifers of Chicago as happy the man daring to go out into the darkness.
What's it really mean?
At night, put the cat out.
He was a lad, wasn't he?
Yes, he certainly enjoyed a joke.
And he didn't like wearing a crash helmet either.
Oh, you're early.
It's a habit, I'm afraid.
You did say 1, didn't you?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
Can you drink on duty? I mean, is that all right? I don't usually drink at lunchtime. Well, I don't drink much at all. Weekend. I don't like pubs.
We found this at the studio.
Oh.
I assume they were all phony.
We were broke. As needs must. Well, what do they expect for £30 plus postage and packing? We didn't make anything out of it. Well, nothing to speak of. Most of the money was exchanged for claret. It was Harry's idea. He said it was what everybody wanted, deep down, feeling they had a history. He gave them one, even if in translation it meant sup up and have another.
Did he sell much of his own work?
No. Cleaning, restoration, fag-end work, he called it.
He minded about that?
Yeah, of course he minded. Trained to be a painter. How would you like to go back to point duty?
Who modelled for him?
No one. He couldn't afford it.
Hello, Helen. Early lunch today?
Yes.